Hi, welcome to Indie Frequencies. I'm Haven, AM, and today we're going to talk about Wakers, an audio drama. This show has 10 episodes total. It is season 1, and I think I've seen on their Tumblr that it's season 1 of 3. It's meant to be a trilogy type thing. I have listened to all 10 episodes, and I have some notes. Fair warning, this is a bit of a weird one. I'll give the review recap and triggers in a second, and you'll see what I mean. But for real, this one's got a pretty weird premise. The show and actual plot is extremely good though, so as long as you can stomach it, it's worth trying out. Now then, this episode is kind of long. If you're unsure about listening to Wakers, I highly suggest you listen to the whole review, because it has more details about what I did and didn't like. But if you just want a short review, here's a recap. Wakers is an adult show about people coming to life through necrophilia and having to deal with all of the troubles that come with that, including mandatory group therapy and various government programs, as well as public opinion. Because this is an adult show, I will not be censoring language in this episode, so beware of that. Highlights include the two main characters having killer chemistry. Also, it's dark, but funny. Up until episode 8, I always left in a good headspace. Lowlights include episodes 8, 9, and 10 are kinda wild, a bit of a switch from the pace in the previous episodes, not a deal breaker, but still be prepared. Lots of triggers, that's not a lowlight for me exactly, but I know it turns some people off, so I'll talk about the triggers in a second. In conclusion, though, this show really sucked me in. I was unable to stop listening and had to see it through. It's unfinished, only season 1 of 3 is out right now, but it's grimly hilarious and very intriguing, with interesting characters and interesting problems. Alright, now on to the full review. Okay, let me tell you what this is actually about. First of all, I'm going to say some trigger warnings. Let me actually just look at their page here and list them off, because there are quite a few. Okay, Wakers, an audio drama, is intended for adult audiences and features mature themes and topics such as substance abuse, foul language, graphic depictions of violence, depression, self-harm, and brief mentions of sexual assault. We do our best to represent these topics with care and intention, and we hope you'll join us when you're able. I would like to add here that it's not just self-harm. There is a lot of mention of suicide, is this a spoiler? One of the main characters does, he committed suicide and now he's back. So it's a big thing. I'd say it's a big trigger. I wouldn't say that it's just mentioned, honestly. It's heavily touched upon. Also, sexual assault, that is it never happens on screen or anything, but it is talked about a lot because that is the reason these people are alive. So, let's get into the premise of the show. People are coming back to life because the secretions of the living inside them reanimates them. They are called reanimated, the main characters are in a support group for reanimated rape victims, because that is what they are. They are basically, sort of like zombies, they come back to life, they don't feel hunger, pain, any of that really. They do feel echoes of it, what their body is used to feeling, their mind feels as a sort of psychosomatic kind of deal, but that wears off as you get used to being reanimated. But yeah, they're alive again because someone sexually assaulted them in the grave, necrophilia, and now they're living it up. They're not living it up. They're having the worst time. They have to go to these, I think it's weekly, support group sessions, group therapy with other reanimated rape victims, and they have a living person named, I don't know what his role is exactly. He's the group therapy leader. I guess you could call him the group therapist. His name is Seth. He kind of encourages people to talk about what's going on in their lives. If they don't go to therapy, they get, taken away because they're considered that, they're going feral or something. It's rough on them. The government thing set up for them is specifically mentioned and shown as very poor quality, which is so realistic. Oh my god, of course the government would do a shit job of this. And in fact, that's part of the description, I think. Where is it? Yeah, from mandatory group therapy to barely functioning government programs, they'll find that life wasn't quite ready for them, and it isn't. Also, a big thing is that they have memory loss if they don't, connect themselves to something important. This can be drugs, old habits being drugs, like cigarettes, alcohol, hard drugs, anything. Or it can be a living person, someone you're really connected to and remember. Just keeping yourself in their life, being able to remember them frequently and think on them helps your memory stick around. Okay. Episode 1. Oh, let me see if I have notes for this, actually. Okay, episode 1 I didn't really have many notes. It's introductory. So you have Arnold, the main character, or one of the main characters, I suppose. The main character, running around trying to get to his group therapy meeting after having been reanimated. and like getting his reanimation identification number and all this government stuff that he has to go through. It's very complicated. It's not very forgiving. It's just a mess. So he's running through the city trying to get to his meeting on time. That's most of episode 1. Also him meeting some smaller characters and Nora, the other main character of the show, who is also reanimated, but she's been around a little longer than him, and she cares a little less about everything. Episode 2 is where I really started writing notes, because, like, oh god. Episode 2, Arnold, why? Why would you do this? You are killing me. Arnold makes some poor choices, but it's really fun. Nora, I love you. She's so prickly, but she's kind in secret, and I love her, and I love her humor, and I love how she helps Arnold and doesn't at the same time. It's very sweet. I love these two characters, and they have great chemistry, Arnold and Nora. They're just really fun to listen to. Kate is interesting. Ted is awesome. Kate, I have mixed feelings on. You'll see why. Like, it's very obvious. Yeah, no shit, I have mixed feelings on Kate. But she's an interesting character, for sure. I don't think Kate's VA had the best chemistry with Arnold's VA. It's not perfect. They don't sound bad together. It's just, they don't have the same chemistry that Arnold and Nora have, which maybe is on purpose. But the way Arnold remembers him and Kate, who is his ex-girlfriend, makes them sound like a much better couple than they seem to be in, like, flashbacks and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, there's a scene in, it's episode 2, 3, 4, I don't know, I did not really note down when these notes were, but Arnold and Nora have a very cute scene together talking about things, and it's just adorable. Like, it's very sweet, it's fun, it shows off their personalities and what they're like, and it's just sweet. I like it a lot. Debbie is my favorite character, I think, out of all of them. Like, I love Nora, I love Arnold, I love them dearly, actually. It's maybe a close tie here, but Debbie maybe squeaks ahead. I love her. She's just a side character. She doesn't show up that often. She's like a clerk with the government, helping get people their reanimation IDs and stuff like that. But she is so fun. She's so upbeat all the time, despite everything going on around her. And just, I don't know, something about her. I love her. I love her so much. Arnold making bad choices again. Oh my god. Nora making great choices. More or less. Kim is also an interesting character. She's so mean when she's hungover, but she has good intentions-ish when she's not. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see where Kim's character will go in the next few seasons. Okay, so everything is very fun. It feels weird to call it fun. It's surprisingly lighthearted despite the darkness of it. Like, it left me in a good headspace until episode 7, which is where shit went down. It started getting really serious really fast. There was still, like, comedy and stuff a little bit, but, like, it wasn't exactly a tone change so much as things just started happening, like, a lot faster than I think I was used to with the rest of the series. It threw me off a little. So the end of episode, where was it? 4 or something? I don't know. It ended with, like, a cliffhanger that was very, oh no. But I was just excited. I didn't feel bad or anything. I was just like, oh, this is awesome. I have to listen to the next episode now. 8 and 9, though, were kind of, they ended and I was like, what? I was a little confused. It's still good. It's still worth listening to. It's just, I feel like I might have to re-listen to really get it fully. And things just went too quickly. Certain plot points just flew by. They had basis in the previous episodes. It's not like they came out of nowhere, but they kind of felt like they did just in how quickly these things happened, came to pass, etc. 10 is a lot. I like it. But it's a lot for sure. And it ends in a way that is, I wouldn't call it, no, it's a cliffhanger for sure. It's not a sharp cliffhanger, but like, it's something where you cannot listen to the season and be like, okay, the story's done. I could listen to just season 1 and be satisfied. You need season 2 and 3, which are coming out soonish, I hope. It is meant to be a trilogy. Also, okay, there's one bit I don't get. This, like, audio self-help book keeps popping up, in between, like, is it narration? I'm not sure what to call it exactly, and I don't really understand why it's there. I'm not sure about the purpose or exactly what it adds. There are a few lines where I was like, oh, that's a good line, but I don't know, maybe it would have been better if someone in in the world besides just on this weird audiobook would have said it, you know? Okay, characters, ratings and stuff. Characters are fantastic, especially the main characters. Nora, Arnold, they're great. They're very interesting characters with a lot of depth to them, and it was very fun finding out more and more about them and their histories and their stories and stuff like that. So they were great characters, and their chemistry, like I said, amazing. They work so well together. However, other characters, like some of the smaller characters, I had trouble keeping track of. I don't know if some of the voices just sounded too similar, or maybe the roles played were too similar. I don't know, I had trouble keeping track of which characters were who sometimes when they popped up and when they were, like, helping out. And especially keeping track of their names, I had a rough time with that. Just, I don't know, smaller characters weren't as strong. When they popped up, it was like, oh, like, how do I say this? After they were there for, like, an episode's worth, you kind of start to get them a little bit. But especially in the first beginning episodes, when a character shows up, you're like, hi. And then they show up in another scene and you're like, wait, is this character or that one? It's just hard to keep them all straight. I don't know. But they do become more clear further on, I believe. Like Ted, for example. If you played a bunch of voices for me, I could not tell you who Ted's voice was. But I can tell you I liked the character Ted when he showed up. Plot. So at first the plot is just them surviving, you know, getting through the process of all the government rules and stuff, the process you have to go through once you've been reanimated, and them dealing with internal conflicts as well as the external conflict of the law and all that, like getting by. However, the plot then changes a little bit to be about the public's reaction to the reanimated people. And this, I think it's a strong plot. Like, it is a good plot. You can tell where it's going, you know, like what you're headed for, what the main problem is. It's very interesting. I like it. Fun, super fun until Ep 7 when it gets a little serious. Not too serious, just, like I said, more than before. There's a lot happening. A lot of the things I want to say about this show are just major spoilers. If you are on the fence about the show, I would say take a close look at the trigger list and think about whether you'll be able to handle that, because everything they mention on the trigger list is like, there's a lot of it. It's not a mention and then they're done, usually. I'd say the only exception to that maybe is the sexual assault, which is mostly that's just they reference it. They occasionally, some darker characters joke about it, but it's never on screen. Whereas drug use is on screen a lot. A reanimated person attempts suicide, but like they can't because they're reanimated. They can't die like that. But that is on screen. The Arnold's suicide is not on screen. It's just talked about. But Arnold's father's suicide is also talked about a lot. It's kind of on screen in a flashback, but like, it's complicated. My point is that a lot of these triggers are fully in the show. It's not something where you can kind of skip past them. It is a big part of the show. So, that said, if you are okay with those triggers, it's a good show. It's a really good show. It's darker. Obviously, it's very grim, but it's got a lot of comedy also. The characters are dealing with it, coping in the best ways they can. The characters are fun, they're relatable, they're interesting. The plot is very straightforward at first. Just, you know, they're dealing with everything of being reanimated. And then it gets sort of into a more specific plot line further in. Either way, all of it's good. I enjoyed a lot of it. My only critiques would be about 8 and 9. Yeah, 8 and 9 moving too fast, especially Arnold's change that happens. I just feel like that came about very quickly. I feel like it could have had more, maybe an episode in between to show him slowly changing. But let's see, other critiques I had. The music is very good. The sound design, I don't have much to say about the sound design. It was good. No, the sound design was good. There were no moments where I thought, oh, that was bad, you know? Like, but there weren't really a lot of moments where I thought, ooh, peak sound design either. It was there, and it was good, which is what you aim for, you know? You don't want to really notice sound design a lot, so I guess they got what they were going for. They did a good job. It's a very pleasant show to listen to audio-wise. It doesn't peak the mic or, like, scare you with screams. It's good. It's a good show to listen to in terms of audio. And in terms of plot, characters, entertainment. It's a good show. I recommend it. Wakers, an audio drama. You can go to wakerspodcast.com. They have a Tumblr, they have a Facebook, Instagram. It's by Bedrock Productions. Written and directed by Garrett Atkinson and co-directed by Dalton Sides. I listened to it on Spotify. There are 10 episodes plus the trailer. And like I said, there are intended to be 3 seasons. Let me see if on their Tumblr they say when season 3 is coming out. Currently on their Tumblr, they are posting about planning for things to come, but they don't have any dates set, I don't think. They're also posting about songs they listen to while riding, which is fun. Also, if you're undecided about the show, check out their Tumblr, because they have these, like, this one is 45-ish seconds of little clips from the episodes that might help you decide whether it's something you'd be into. Also, if you're interested in queer stories specifically, the main couple, Arnold and Kate, straight couple. They're not quite a couple anymore. It's complicated. You'll see. But in terms of queer stories, there is, I believe, if I didn't misunderstand, there is one queer character, but you don't really find out about it until late in the story. However, it is a big part of her history. So, Wakers. Very triggering. If you have these triggers, I would stay away, for sure. However, if you don't, it's fun. It's really fun. It's grimly humorous, as they describe it. The afterlife isn't as restful as you'd hope. I listen on, 1.5 speed because I'm a busy person. I have a lot of audio dramas to listen to. But I listened to it within, a day and a half. It was a very short amount of time where I just binged through it. It was very good. I couldn't stop listening. One of those shows where once you start, it's like, oh, I gotta keep going. Which is good. That's great. I don't think I have anything else to say about it. So just Wakers, an audio drama on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I believe, a bunch of other services. WakersPodcast.com. I would give them a shot. And that's it. Thanks for listening to Indie Frequencies. I will play their trailer now if they allow me to.
How fresh are you?
Fresh?
Yeah, how long since someone fucked your corpse so hard it woke up?
Well, my name's Arnold.
Hi, Arnold.
Hi, Arnold. And I'm a reanimated rape victim.
Admittance is the first and most difficult step in the healing process.
But I'm not so sure rape is the right word.
No one here was in consent, Arnold.
What may seem like no more than a pile of ash in Annandale Cemetery this morning was the scene of a horrific incident last night as 5 victims were burned alive.
It was a whole group of amputee corpses. Stay away. Do not enter.
Thought you guys couldn't have bad shit happen to you.
Yeah, we can have bad shit happen to us. It happens more than you think.
I told you not to come back here!
What's Tony doing?
Yell at me again, you shambling fucking corpse.
Nora, what is it?
Some guy on fire.
Stupid boy. You can do anything but the right thing, can't you?
Was it an accident or a mistake? Because there's a difference and it didn't look like an accident.
Just be careful.
And by morning, all that was left was ash.
I get 10 surveys a day just about. Wanting to know everything from my eye color to my mortician's name. What's your living situation? What do you eat? How does it taste? What do you piss? Do you piss? Are you sexually active? Ha! How do you think I came back in the first place?